So Iron Man officially has a suit for everything, as he has now created a Wolverine Buster. Yes, you heard me right, a suit that could destroy and break adamantium, quite easily I might add. And yes, the same adamantium that Wolverine and his claws are made out of. Now my name is AJ, and let's get into it. So in the current run of Iron Man, he is teamed up and fake married with Emma Frost, because Iron Man is allied with the mutants of Earth in their pursuit to fight against certain humans and organizations, specifically Fei Long and Orcus. Now their backstory and what they're doing isn't too particularly important here, but just know they want to destroy all mutants and their allies, including Tony Stark here. So as I said before, Tony Stark has married, I say married in quotations, Emma Frost, and as he is saying his goodbye to her as she goes somewhere, he goes back into the Hellfire Club where he sees a masked man killing the security guards there. And as he sets his sight on Tony, saying target acquired, revealing that he's an assassin sent specifically to kill Tony Stark. And as Tony says, "You think I'm afraid of you?" Suddenly the masked entity pops claws, just like those of Wolverine, and lunges for Tony, swiping at him, in which we get a little explanation of what is happening. So basically, when the mutants lived on Krakoa, an island, using the process and abilities of certain mutants there, they were able to resurrect themselves, or any mutants that died during battle, including Wolverine. But the process meant leaving the corpses on the floor or wherever they died, including the times it happened to Wolverine. So with leaving just adamantium skeletons all around, eventually someone would pick them up to use for whatever their purposes are. And in this case, it's revealed that someone used the adamantium skeletons to create this assassin here. And as Tony is moving around fighting for his life, he picks up a bottle of alcohol, throwing it at the assassin before lighting him on fire. And you might say, okay, well, why is Tony so defenseless here? Why doesn't he just call in a suit? Well, the one suit he does have now has not been integrated with a neural interface, meaning he can't just telepathically call it. And as the fire burns away at the assassin, it's revealed that it's an armor, a robot of some kind. But just then, Kingpin throws Tony a staff made of mysterium. Now here's where things get really interesting. If you don't know what mysterium is, in Tony's own words, it's a metal that shouldn't even exist, one that he shouldn't have been able to work or shape. It's a miracle metal that should be able to pierce the assassin, but the assassin manages to get it out of Tony's grip, slashing him across the chest, making him slowly bleed out. And as things are looking bleak for Tony, suddenly Emma Frost arrives back because she forgot something in her diamond battle form. So she decides to hold him back while Tony goes to get a weapon or suit of armor or something that can help him. And as he walks away, he's bleeding out profusely, blood streaks clinging to the walls and the floor. And as Emma Frost does her best to hold off the assassin while Tony gears up, she is simply not enough, as the sentinel or the assassin put a ring on her that inhibits her mutant power, turning her diamond form back to flesh. And as the assassin is about to finish Emma this time, Tony suddenly comes to the rescue in his all-new Mark 72 Mysterium armor, busting through the floor. Now, on top of not only looking incredibly cool and sleek with black, it is also extremely powerful. But of course, the assassin isn't deterred by this and lunges for Tony once more. And Tony even thinks to himself, panicking, saying, "I forgot. The only thing on Earth that could even stop adamantium was vibranium. But mysterium is not from Earth." As we see the claws literally just bend and break against Tony's armor. And with Iron Man in his new adamantium buster suit, grabs the head of the assassin, crushing it effortlessly. So yeah, unless this suit and Mysterium somehow goes away in whatever storyline comes next, this specific suit of Iron Man's renders any future battle with Wolverine essentially completely one-sided in Iron Man's favor. As without Wolverine's claws, he's basically just a short, angry man that can heal faster. And after taking care of the assassin, Iron Man and Emma Frost walk out of the building where they are met with a sentinel, the same kind of sentinels that fight against the mutants. But as you can see, they're looking a little more Iron Man-y. And this is because Fei Long and his whole operations took the schemes and schematics and tech from Iron Man, infusing it with the anti-mutant properties of sentinels, making a new powerful hybrid. But still, this hybrid is no match for Iron Man and Emma now, as they simply one-shot it and move along. So moving along now, Iron Man then comes up with a plan to take the fight to Fei Long himself. So Iron Man, flying in space, purposely gets caught and tracked by Fei Long's satellites, provoking him to send sentinels to him in Australia to finally finish the job and take out Tony. He then decides to come himself in a War Machine sentinel suit, which it's said that it is the most dangerous armor on Earth, which is a massive claim in and of itself. So what exactly is Tony Stark cooking up? Well, it's revealed that he wanted to take out all of the sentinels in one swoop. So with Fei Long coming destroying with his armor and sending all of the Stark Sentinels to finally wipe Tony off of the map, Tony is not defenseless, as suddenly a giant piece of machinery appears behind him, and he explains, the Mark 72, the Mysterium armor, is the most advanced armor he has ever undertaken with the fewest resources available, but its primary function isn't as a weapon or a normal suit of armor. It's meant to be the flight suit of something even bigger, the Sentinel Buster. And as Tony claims, which I'm pretty sure it's not true, he claims it's his most powerful creation ever, which if you thought the normal Sentinels were big, the Sentinel Buster towers over them massively. And yeah, even though the suit is big and impressive, I think his God Killer armor still takes the cake as his most powerful, as that one was made to hurt and damage Celestials, but I could be wrong. Back to the story, we almost immediately see the Sentinel Buster in action, completely destroying and decimating the normal Stark Sentinels, as it is also explained that this giant Sentinel Buster is made out of Mysterium, but a Mysterium alloy, and not pure Mysterium like his Mark 72 is. But that means very little for the Sentinels here, as they all get crushed regardless, with Tony even going on explaining his thought process behind the suit, saying at first, the problem of the 30-foot tall Ironman armors, the Sentinels, were very hard to design and plan against because he had baked so many clever bits into his armors over the years that there was no singular magical bullet per se that could be used to take down the suits, so instead, he just went bigger and stronger, until Fei Long himself entered the battlefield with his War Machine Sentinel, which is bigger and powerful than even the smaller fodder Sentinels. And oh yeah, there's one weakness for his Sentinel Buster. In the same way it is big, it takes so much energy, with Tony even saying it's the most energy-hungry armor he has ever developed, and there's no way he could charge it up in time if it gets depleted. With him even realizing this, saying it's pretty unlikely that he's even going to destroy all of the smaller Sentinels before his suit loses power, as he crashes into the ground to bring the fight down to save power from flying. But what is worse than one powerful armor? Two, as Tony then decides to eject from the suit, putting it on autopilot as he fights in his Mark 72. But as he is slowly taking out some of the Sentinels, Fei Long charges up and shoots him with a powerful beam, with Tony even saying Fei Long's armor packed an extra punch, and if it wasn't for the Mysterium hide of the armor, that might have just killed him on the spot. But as the giant Sentinel Buster grabs Fei Long's War Machine Sentinel, one of Tony's biggest flaws are revealed, because even though he is super smart and a genius, he still isn't perfect. And in a pretty dumb mistake, it's revealed that his center chest piece that is powering the armor isn't as strong as the rest of said armor. So when Fei Long literally plunges his arm into it, it shuts down the entire suit. And with Tony quickly flying back into the helm of the suit to take control, it is not much he can even do as the suit loses power and crashes to the ground. And as the suit lays on the ground surrounded by the many broken pieces of the Sentinels, it is looking bad for Tony, as a powerful War Machine Sentinel is still up and running, and Fei Long is out for blood, as this issue comes to an end. So yeah, what do you guys think? Now, even though Mysterium is powerful and quite literally above Adamantium and probably Vibranium too, because Vibranium and Adamantium were seen as peers almost, it makes Mysterium one of the most powerful and durable metals in the Marvel Universe. But I'm curious to how it stacks up against other metals such as Uru, the thing Thor's hammer Mjolnir is made out of, or any other strong metals out there. But as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like or even subscribe if you're new, and stay up to date with our future videos. As always, thank you for watching.